Good morning, students. Today I am going to take a new chapter, GST, Goods and Service Taxes. Listen, what's the meaning? GST. Every government, be it central or state, needs money for administrative purpose. Government collects money by laying taxes within their respective territories. In India, we have two types of taxes. That is, first one is direct taxes and the second one is indirect taxes. Now listen, what is direct taxes? Direct taxes are those that are levied on the income of individuals or organizations. They include income tax and corporate tax. Understand? Now the second one is indirect tax, are those are paid by consumers or organizations when they buy goods or services or both. Understand? We paid two types of taxes. One is direct taxes, that is in the form of income tax and corporate tax. And the second one is indirect. First one is direct tax and the second one is indirect tax. Means when we buy something, we pay some extra amount. Understand? Here, buying goods or services or both, the consumers pay the tax. That is known as GST. Understand? How to find GST? Okay? We can do problems relating that GST debt. Okay. Now listen more about GST. GST is a destination based on consumption of tax. Hence, the place of consumption decided who will collect the tax. That is, the state government or the central government or both the governments. Second, GST is applicable on every type of movement of goods or services. Two types GST. One is central GST. Central GST, CGST, which is collected by the central government for the intrastate transaction of goods and services. In case of CGST, the beneficiary is the central government. In the case of CGST, the beneficiary is the central government. Then listen, what is intrastate? Intrastate means supply within the state. Understand? That means supply within the state only. But what about integrated GST? IGST. First one is CGST and the second one is IGST. Now listen, what is IGST? Which is levied by the central government for interstate transaction of goods and service. That means interstate means supply from one state to another state. One state to another state. From Kerala to Karnataka. Understand? That way. That is interstate IGST. What about CGST? From Trivandrum to Kannur or from Kozhikode to Alleppey, like that. Understand? That is CGST and IGST means from one state to another state. Okay. Now listen the calculation step. Now write a note. We know that two cases of GST are there. One is CGST. What is the meaning CGST? Intra-state transaction, isn't it? That means supply within the state. Look here, in the case of intra-state transaction, the seller collects both CGST and SGST from the buyer. In the case of intrastate transaction, the seller collects both CGST and SGST from the buyer and deposits the CGST within the central government with the central government and the SGST with the state government. That means the tax collected on the intrastate movement of goods and services is to be shared equally by the central government and the state government. Understand? If the transaction is within the state, two types of taxes are there. One is by the central government and the second one is by the state government. Suppose the total GST is 18% means 9% collected by the state government and the 9% collected by the central government. But in the case of interstate movement of goods, the seller collects IGST from the buyer and deposits it with the central government. Understand? There no division, only direct the total GST deposits it with the central government. Okay, now write one question. All of you take your textbook. A dealer in a city buys goods worth rupees 6,000 from the same city. If the rate of GST is 18%, find how much will the dealer pay for the goods bought. Now listen, here the dealer buys goods from the same city. That means what is the condition? Case of intrastate transaction, isn't it? Intrastate transaction means within the state. Within the state, two cases are there. One is CGST and the second one is SGST. One is central and the second one is state. Central GST and state GST. In the case of what? Intrastate. What is the meaning intrastate? Within the state. Understand? Within the state. Within Kerala or within Karnataka. Like that. Now here, what is the total amount? 6,000. Then how can you find the CGST? How can you find? Therefore, this rate is divided into two. 9% to CGST and 9% to SGST. Divide equally. Therefore, how can you find? 9% means 9 by 100 into 6,000. Say the answer. 540 rupees. Okay. Again, what is SGST? 9% of 6,000. That is also 540. Then can you say the dealer will pay? What's the amount the dealer will pay? He bought it for rupees 6,000. CGST is 540 and SGST is also 540. Therefore, the total amount is 7,080 rupees. 7,080 rupees. Okay, right now. Next question. Given below are the cost of some financial services. Example 2. In the same city, taxable under GST, Cost of services 500, 300, 400 and 600. If the rate of GST is 12%, find the amount of GST on these services. Copy the question. Now, can you say what is the total cost? Write the answer. Total cost. What is the total cost? 500 plus cost of service is given. 500 plus 300 plus 400 plus 600. Right. 500 plus 300 plus 400 plus 600. What is the answer? 1800. Okay. What is the GST here? 12%. Then read the question. It is CGST or IGST? In the same city. Underline that word. In the same city. That means within the state. IGST. We can divide that. Not IGST. CGST. CGST. CGST means first one CGST. Central tax. What is that? Total rate is 12%, means we divide 6 by 100 into 1800. Okay, say the answer. 108. Then what is SGST? State tax. That means that tax is divided by the state and the central government. Okay, SGST. Again 6% of 1800. That is also 108. Therefore, can you say the record amount of GST? Record amount of GST is 108 plus 108. That is equal to 216. Understand? Sometimes you may ask why we didn't put 12% of 1800, then we will get 216. But in the case of this tax is divided. That is why we write the first step CGST 6 by 100 of 1800, SGST 6 by 100 of 1800. That means, understand? Now we add that too. This is the procedure. That is why. Write the next question. Write the next question. Find the amount of bill for the following intra-state transaction of goods. The rate of GST is 12%. Copy the question. I will write that in column way. MRP rupees 250, 200, 150 and 300. Okay. Then discount is also given there. Write discount percent 30%, 40%, 32% and 20%. Copied? Okay, then I will explain it. In the first case, the cost price is 250, but there is a discount of 30%. Then we have to find the selling price. Understand? Can you find the selling price directly? What's the formula? Selling price. SP is equal to, listen the formula, SP is equal to CP into 100 minus discount by 100. Okay, in that formula we can apply. Otherwise, find the 30% of 250, then subtraction. Here now we can apply direct formula. Therefore, discount 30% means selling price is 70%. Okay, 70% off, right? All this. 70% of 250. 70% of 250. Now 175. Next is 40% means 60% of 200. That is 120. Then 68, isn't it? 32 is the discount, therefore 68% of 150. 102. Then 20%. 20% means 80% of 300. Okay. This is also a very simple chart. You know how to calculate the percentage. Now only study what is CGST and what is IGST. Within the state, CGST. Therefore, CGST and SGST. Okay. We can add what is the total amount. Find the total amount. Is it 637? Now listen. Read the question. The last sentence says the rate of GST is 12%. Rate of GST is 12%. And the above line, what is written? Intrastate transaction. Intrastate transaction. What is the meaning intrastate? Within the state. From Trivandrum to Kollam, isn't it? Or from Alapi to Kasargod. Okay. 637. Therefore, two steps CGST. CGST. Total percentage is 12. Therefore, 6 by 100 into 637. Multiply the numerator and change the decimal. 38.22. Then what is SGST? 6% of 637. That is also 38.22. Then can you say what is the amount? Amount of bill? Total is 637 plus 38.2 plus 38.22. What's the final answer? 713.44. Suppose the question is correct to the nearest rupee, what to do? Here 713 rupee 44 paise, isn't it? If the paise is below 50, we neglect it. Therefore, the answer is 713. Suppose the question is write to the nearest rupee. Otherwise, you write the correct point, 713.44. And one more thing is, here we deal money. Therefore, after the decimal, always put it 2 decimal place. Understand? Suppose if it is 713.4 means that is wrong. You have to write 713.40. Here we deal money transaction. Okay. Okay. Do these questions and study well. You can open your text and you can do that. Exercise 1A. CGST type of questions. I will explain the next class. Okay. Bye. God bless you.